Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Mainstream Mondays right here on Night Owl Video. Today we are talking about Joyride. We'll be talking about cast and crew, production, critical reception, my thoughts on the film, where you can watch it, and all that jazz, so I hope you stick around. Thank you to everybody who's recently subscribed. I'm over 500 now, which is amazing, so thank you to everybody who has subscribed. And thank you to all the people who have left kind comments and thumbs up and all that jazz. I appreciate your support. Today we're talking about this movie, Joyride, from 2001. This is a thriller. This was directed by Dahl, who also directed Red Rock West and Rounders. It was written and produced by J.J. Abrams. So got some early star power behind this one. This film was known as Roadkill in the UK and, Roadkill, 2 words, in the UK, and Roadkill, all 1 word, in Australia. It was renamed Roadkill in the UK since taking a quote-unquote joyride is not the pleasant journey it is in the States, rather the name for when youths steal cars and race each other, or the cops drive rings at high speeds and eventually total, usually setting the car on fire and dumping it. So apparently joyride in the UK means something very different than in the United States, though. Seems to me in North America we always referred to like a joyride, or maybe back in the 70s and 80s it was stealing a car was what you called joyriding. But anyway, that's besides the point. It is called Joyride in the rest of the world, to my knowledge. This film stars Steve Zahn, who was in Reality Bites as well as Employee of the Month. This also stars Paul Walker, rest in peace, who was in the Fast and the Furious series, parts 1 through 7, as well as a movie called Running Scared. And this also stars Lily Sobieski, who was in Eyes Wide Shut, as well as a great little thriller called Glass House. From what I understand, she has retired from acting and she's just focusing on her family, and I guess she's an artist as well, so she is out of the game. The synopsis for Joyride is: it's summer break and college freshman Lewis Thomas, played by Paul Walker, has decided to embark on a cross-country road trip to pick up the girl of his dreams, Venna, played by Lily Sobieski. But Lewis's romantic hopes hit a detour when he stops on the way to rescue his older brother Fuller, played by Steve Zahn, who goads him into playing a practical joke on a lonely trucker over a CB radio. Now, that trucker, an unseen and terrifying force known only by his CB handle, Rusty Nail, wants the last laugh and revenge. So, yeah, this is your straight up being chased down the highway by a scary truck driver, which I think is everybody's worst nightmare. I'm just kidding. Of course, truck drivers do a lot of amazing things and get us a lot of goods and food over the road. So shout out to truckers everywhere. This film grossed $36.6 million worldwide against a $23 million budget. So it wasn't a big box office hit, but it was decent. The film has since become a cult classic and spawned 2 direct-to-video sequels, Joyride 2, Dead Ahead, get it, from 2008, and Joyride 3, Roadkill, from 2014. I have not seen either of the sequels. I don't know anything about them. I don't know if they're good. You can let me know in the comments below if they're worth checking out. I'm going to guess probably no. The working title for this film was Squelch, and I'm not a trucker, obviously, but I think squelch is like a slang for the noise that the CB radio makes in between talking. It makes that kind of distorted, staticky sound. But I could be wrong. Again, I don't know. But that was the working title for the film. For the nighttime chase scenes in this film, the headlights of the trucks and cars were replaced by aircraft landing lights for extra brightness. The speaking voice for the character Rusty Nail, that was the trucker, the bad trucker, was voiced by Ted Levine, and some of you may know that name. He was Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs from 1991, and I think I knew that years ago and I sort of forgot, and when I was preparing for this review, I remembered that, and you could so hear his, you could so picture him. His voice is so unique and kind of terrifying over the CB radio, if I'm being honest, in this film. Joyride is known for having many alternate scenes, endings, and versions of the movie, which were filmed during the 2 years while the film was in production. But even the original script by J.J. Abrams and Clay Tarver from 1998, titled Squelch, had an ending which was completely different than any of those which were filmed. So I don't know if this has... Oh, yeah, so this actually has a 29-minute alternate ending, which I have not watched. It also has 4 shocking new endings, plus a truckload of chilling extras. Get it? Truckload? That's because they're being chased by a truck. So I have not watched any of the alternate endings. I think I was satisfied with the ending of the original version, but I am curious now to go back and check out the alternate endings just to see what happens. Apparently Sylvester Stallone was also considered for the role of Rusty Nail, so I'm trying to picture his presence in that film. It's kind of hard to imagine, but I think that Ted Levine's voice over the CB radio is just so creepy, and you could almost sort of, it's almost sort of like Buffalo Bill, the way he talks, like his accent and everything. It is really quite creepy. This film currently holds a 74% on Rotten Tomatoes, if you follow such things. Kevin Thomas of the Los Angeles Times called the film, quote, terrific, escapist, fair, stylish, outrageous, and compelling, unquote. Joe Layden of Variety called the film, quote, hot-wired, white-knuckled thriller, unquote, and wrote that it, quote, maneuvers more smoothly and avoids plot holes more consistently as it steadily gains momentum while speeding through familiar territory, unquote. So yeah, my thoughts on this film, Joyride. I really like this movie. I usually rewatch this every couple of years, if not more. I think it's a great thriller. I think, like I said, Rusty Nails' voice over the CB radio is so creepy and detached, and just that these three are driving on the highway, being followed by this truck, and they don't know where he is, but his voice sort of comes through the car, through the CB radio, and so is talking to them, saying, like, this is Rusty Nail, come back, and then they can't believe that this guy's like following them. So I don't want to give away too much because it is kind of a cool little movie, and it's fairly simple in its plot, but basically Paul Walker and Steve Zahn play a prank on this trucker, and Paul Walker sort of imitates like a woman's voice, and so this Rusty Nail character thinks that, like, oh, there's a lady out there, and he's gonna like try to connect with her or whatever. And then when they tell Rusty Nail, no, I'm a dude and I was just pretending to be a girl, then Rusty Nail gets very mad, and then of course he tries to do some bad things to these guys. And so there's this very intense aspect to it where this truck driver kind of, he seems to sort of almost fade into the distance, and things seem normal, and then all of a sudden his voice will come over the CB, and it's quite jarring, and they can't believe that he's like still like stalking them, basically. So there's this sort of cat and mouse thing going on, which is really, really well done. The three main characters in the film are great. They actually genuinely look terrified in the film. Like in a lot of the scenes, the shock on their on the expressions on their faces and stuff. It's like you really get. It's, I guess what I'm trying to say is you really get into it. Much like with Steven Spielberg's Duel, with that character, you sort of like, he's like always looking in his rearview mirror and looking over his shoulder, and you start to kind of feel paranoid too, because you're like, where is this truck coming from, or where is it? The road scenes and the chases on the highway were quite thrilling, well executed. There's a scene where Rusty Nail's like, oh, they don't know that he's behind them, but he says like, oh, you might want to get your tail light fixed or something. And then they're just like, okay, just be cool, just keep driving. And you could just imagine yourself in that scenario. Like it would be so terrifying. This is just a wicked little B-grade movie wrapped up in a big budget, basically. Um, I always say like this, or like there's a few other movies kind of in this era, like Breakdown. Um, if these were made in the 70s, they probably would have been like grindhouse movies, but this is sort of grindhouse filtered through, Hollywood big budget stuff. So this is what this reminds me of. You could easily see this being like a B movie if it didn't have like the big budget and the big actors and all that stuff in it. So I really, really like this movie. I'd highly recommend this movie. If you like thrillers, if you like road chase movies, like if you like Breakdown or Mad Max or things like this, Duel, this is your jam. This is, I can't say I was like a big fan of the actors in this film. I think they did a good job for what they were supposed to do. But they were convincing. I'll say that. These are not my favorite actors though. Steve Zahn's kind of funny, I guess, but this is just a great little thriller. You get really invested in the characters. You get invested in the situation, the chase, the voice over the CB. It's all very, very intense, and so if you like that kind of thing, I would highly recommend this film. It does have a little bit of humor. It has a bit of like humor from 2001 that's probably not great in 2024. I mean, it was 23 years ago, so you sort of have to say, well, this was a product of its time, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'd highly recommend this. I usually throw this on, like I said, a couple times a year just for fun in the background. Just gives you that thrill. This is the 2012 20th Century Fox DVD edition. There's the front, obviously, the heads, the floating heads, and then on the back you see the folks being chased by the truck. I don't think there's much on the inside. There's another scene of the car there. That was a very scary scene in a cornfield. That was pretty intense. Let's see, specifications. This has a runtime of 96 minutes, so not too bad. This is rated 14 in Canada. This DVD is a Region 1 DVD. Closed caption, color 2001. The special features, as I mentioned, 29-minute alternate ending, 4 shocking new endings in all, plus a truckload of chilling extras, as I said before. So this is, I don't know if this has like a special edition or whatever. This is a pretty basic version, but I do see this movie out and about when I'm thrifting often. It's a pretty common movie. I think a lot of people grabbed this when it came out on physical media. Yeah, great movie. Directed by Dahl. You can currently, if you have a Disney Plus streaming service in Canada, as of the recording of this video, you can watch it on Disney Plus in Canada, and you can also rent it on Google TV, Amazon Prime, and Apple TV. So go check this out. Again, really fun little thriller, road chase movie. Lots of tension, lots of white knuckle tension. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Joyride. Did you like this movie? Did you think it was silly or whatever? Were the sequels worth checking out? I do see the sequels in the thrift store from time to time, but I never pick them out because I'm just not too sure. But yeah, this is a cool little movie. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I really appreciate everyone's support. And until next time, I will see you at the video store or at the charity shop or just out and about somewhere. But until next time, hopefully we will not be on the highway being chased by a madman. Buffalo Bill, maybe. But hopefully that doesn't happen because that would be bad. But until next time, take good care of yourselves and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.